Welcome to the video one of the Door Supervisor Refresher Training e-learning. So we will be doing 7 videos. All that videos are mandatory to watch, and you have to attempt the multiple choice questions. Why it's mandatory to watch? Because we will not cover that content in the class. You have to do this on your own time, and you will be tested in the class for content that you've covered at your home. Let's start conducting effective search procedures. So we will start now. Now, first thing is under no circumstances, uh, you can forcibly search someone. No. A door supervisor uh, cannot do that. As a door supervisor, you are still a private member of the public and therefore have no legal or statutory right to search any person without their permission. Yeah. It is most important, therefore, that security officers actually obtain permission from a person they wish to search. Okay. That's the first thing that you need to be aware of. Okay. Now, searching someone without the necessary consent result in what can happen criminal proceedings for the assault being taken against the security officer, right? So criminal proceedings means that you can go to prison, you can be fined, anything, right? You can go to prison or fined. Whereas civil proceedings, civil action, you might have to pay compensation being taken out against the security officer or the security company, depending upon the investigation. Now, a criminal case against the person committing a crime failing because the search that found the evidence was illegal as consent was not obtained. So their consent is quite necessary. You need to ask for their consent. Anybody who you need to search, you need to ask for their consent. Now, your when you search policy, your when you search for a policy may require you to search people and their bags on entry, people already inside the premises, or the premises itself, like specific rooms or the whole building. Now, the types of searches you will undertake as a door supervisor will be dependent on the types and potential customers of premises at which you are working. And obviously, your employer will guide you on that as who to search and what to search. So you should read your assignment instructions before you start searching anyone. Now, as a part of venues admissions policy, people may need to be searched before entry to stop them from bringing in any weapons, drugs, suspected packages, or other unauthorized items. Yeah. Now, they might require searching to stop them from bringing any weapons, drugs, suspected packages, or unauthorized items on the site, or they may need searching before they leave to ensure that they're not accidentally or deliberately taking away any of the client's property with them. Okay. Now, there is a key point. Weapons are items that are made, adopted, or intended to be used to cause injury to another person. So we might think that only a gun will be a weapon, but no. Even a radio can be a weapon if you adopt it or you want to hit someone with the radio. So the definition of weapon is quite broad, so you need to understand it. Anything can be a weapon if you adopt it or your intention is to use it against someone. Okay. Now, when and how often to search? They're saying when you need to search someone and how often, how many times you need to search. Now, some sites will have a policy where every visitor is searched prior to entry. That could be a general search, whereas other only search odd visitors now and again. It could be random. And sometimes some sites only search visitors or staff who they believe for some reason may be in possession of unauthorized items. That will depend on the policy of the venue. Okay, so I'm going to repeat it again. General, where everyone is searched, random, Yeah, when a random selection of people are searched, for example, every fourth person, or specific, when specific individuals or vehicles are searched for specific reasons, like suspicious people, vehicles, or packages. Okay. Now, where consenting to a search at the entrance is a condition of entry. So, for example, let's say if I'm going to a shopping center and according to their policy that they need to give us consent before they can enter, anyone refusing to be searched should be politely but firmly refused entry. So you can tell them politely, sorry, sir, that's our policy, that we need to search you before you enter. If you don't give us consent to enter, then you can leave. We will not allow you to enter, but you have to tell them politely but firmly. Now, if a venue has a point of entry search policy, this should be clearly displayed as well. So you can ask your organization that they can display it as a poster at the entrance to explain the requirements to potential customers and the reason for it, like why you are searching. Sometimes explaining customers why it's in their benefit. The search policy is in their benefit, so they will be able to enjoy benefits. So that's why we need to search, so they can enjoy security, they can be safe, they can enjoy without any fear. Okay. So that's why we need to explain it to them. So any refusals should be noted in the search register or your incident log, and then you need to give it to your manager. Right. Now, searching people and their property. So, what you need to do, search in a friendly or routine way. Okay. Try to reduce any feelings or embarrassments that the person might feel. Do not discriminate based on their age, their gender, their color, or their religion. Be polite and courteous. Talk to people as you search them to help make them feel at ease. Okay. Now, search as quickly and as efficiently and effectively as possible. Thank them for their assistance afterwards. Yeah. As I said, all searches should be carried out, uh, you know, in a way, where you are considering the protected characteristics identified in the Equality Act 2010. Okay. Right. Now, searching safely. How can you search safely? Same sex searches. So, for example, if you are searching a male, then you can obviously use a male team member. Okay. And then if you are searching a female, then you can use the help of a female team member. Okay. So people are more comfortable. Okay. Now, search with another door supervisor to act as a witness. Sometimes people will try to make claims that somebody has done this to them, different things. So you need to have a witness with you. If you can, search within the view of the CCTV so there is evidence available if somebody tried to claim. Now you need to be aware of needles and sharp objects. You can ask the person if they've got anything sharp in their pockets, if they have any weapons, if they've got any drugs, if they are becoming violent. You'd also be aware of any infectious diseases. You might want to wear a mask. If there are any uncooperative clients, you also need to consider having a dedicated area with search tables and PPE such as safety gloves. So make sure you have all the PPE. So if you don't have PPE, you can ask your manager to provide you PPE like gloves, maybe masks, so you can protect yourself or you can be protected. Okay, right. Now, before you physically touch another person, you should ask them, okay, for their permission. Permission is also called consent, right? You can ask their permission or their consent. Yeah. Whether they have anything that they should not have. You can ask them whether they have anything that could injure either themselves or you, or whether they have any knives, needles, or other sharps in their possession. Well, think about it. Someone who genuinely wants to hurt you will not be truthful with these questions. Never assume they are telling you the truth. Okay, so you need to have a reflective approach. You need to look at the surroundings. You need to be aware of your surroundings and have a reflective approach and never assume that they are telling you the truth. Okay, right. Let's move on to body searches. Now, body searches need to be made in a thorough and systematic way to ensure nothing is missed. Okay, you should devise your own method of searching and should use the same system every time so that you do not forget to search particular areas. Now, a good way to search is to start from the top at the front and work your way downwards. Then move behind the subject to repeat the process. Okay, in this way, you have method and it's quite systematic. Okay, right. Now, all searches must be carried out with consideration and respect for the person concerned. As a security operative, you should show sensitivity when searching transgender individuals. Yeah, you have to. Now, many venues that carry out searches now employ door supervisors of both sexes for this very reason. The SIA has produced a guidance document called Trans Customers, a guide for door supervisors. That's the link for it. You can just type it in Google and you will get more guidance on that. Okay, you have to be really careful because you don't want to hurt someone's feelings and you don't want to discriminate against someone. Okay. Now, if you have any concerns as to the gender or age of the person, then self-searching is a viable option where you can discuss it with your manager. Okay. Ask the person to empty and turn out their pockets. So you can ask them. Okay. And discuss it with your manager. Ask them to take off a jacket or to show you their waistband. Jackets can be checked once removed because you're not personally touching them then. Ask them to show you all other high risk areas, for example, where jeans meet the boots. You can check it properly, and then obviously, if there is nothing of concern, you can let them go. Now, searching rooms and buildings. Now, outside areas, buildings or individual rooms within the venue may also need to be searched before opening and closing. Okay, now specific pre-entry searches may be carried out by a door supervisor to ensure that the premises are safe and are free from any hazards prior to customers entering. Okay, lockdown procedures and closing checks should be carried out with the duty manager to ensure all doors and windows are closed. Now, closing checks should ensure that no patrons are left in the toilets. Then VIP areas or areas which is easy to stow away. Maybe people can fall asleep. You need to check them so they can be taken out of the building. Okay. Now, before conducting an area search, you must ensure you have sufficient support from colleagues. Never work alone, yeah, if you're doing something like this. To be able to conduct a search efficiently, effectively, and safely. Have any necessary equipment with you to assist in the search, maybe like a torch, okay? Or maybe a communication device so you can communicate with your colleagues. So if there is an emergency, you can communicate with them. Have a suitable method of calling for assistance if necessary, like a radio or maybe like a mobile phone. Okay, you need to obviously risk assess it before you go there. Maybe the mobile signals do not work in that building, so you might need to use a radio. Okay. Now, door supervisors may be required to search for weapons. As I said, weapon is not just a gun. Anything can be turned into a weapon, or the intention can make it a weapon as well. So you have to be careful. So they may need to search for weapons, suspicious of missing people, any criminal activities, any suspected vehicles, suspected packages, signs of intrusion, and stolen, missing, or damaged property as well. Okay. Now, search equipment may include search wands, metal detectors, or archway metal detectors. Okay. Archway metal detector would look like something like this, where people will go and then it will detect if anything, if they're hiding anything on them. Okay. A wand will be something like this. A security officer would have it on them, and then they can rub it against you to check if you're hiding anything that shouldn't be there. Okay. Now, proper search records help to ensure and show that search policies are being complied with. Because while you are searching, you have to comply with the policies and procedures of your company. Okay. And you can identify reasons for individual searches, that why did you search an individual person? Protect security staff against malicious allegations, right? Protect the person who is being searched and act as an evidence in criminal proceedings. So, whatever you do, make sure you keep a record of it. So, if you're searching someone, there are three things important. Same sex, search the same sex, and you need to record any searches, and obviously, you need to have a witness, as well as there should be a CCTV present. That's a good evidence. If not, then a witness is enough. So a witness obviously can vouch for you in case there is any malicious allegations made against you. Yeah. Okay. Now, search documentation. So search records should contain details of maybe what day, what date, and times of the search, location of the search, details of the person searched, details of the door supervisor searching and any witnesses present, reasons for searching, and details of search refusals, why people refused it, and details of anything found during the search, and any actions taken during the search. Now, you do not need to devise these documentations. It's the company that you're working for. They need to have these documents, and they may be called assignment instructions, or maybe sometimes they call it, um, you know, safe systems of work. So they'll call anything, but you need to ask your manager to provide you with the documentation, or the company will have their systems anyway. They will provide it to you. So you do not need to create this documentation. Your organization will provide you. Yeah. As I said, most venues will provide door supervisors with a formal search register or book to record details of searches conducted at the premises. But if they haven't provided you, you need to ask them. Now, some venues require search details to be recorded on an incident report form or just by CCTV unless an item is found and secured. Now, search records are to be completed by the door supervisors and should contain the information highlighted in these slides. Okay? Right. Now, dealing with property found during a search, what you need to do with that. If you're searching someone, actions will be dependent upon the severity of the items found. Different venues will have different policies. Now, door supervisors must follow their own venue's policy. So, whatever you are doing, you either have to follow the venue's policy or you have to follow your employer's policy, right? Anywhere you go, you don't decide to do anything yourself. You have to follow the venue's policy or your the organization's policy that's employing you. Any stolen, illegal, suspected, or unauthorized items found must be dealt with correctly following the venue's search policy. Okay. Now, the DPS should also be informed. Okay. Possible actions depending on what is found and under what circumstances may include giving them a verbal warning, again, depending upon the policy, reporting to your supervisor or line manager for advice. Yeah. Reporting to DPS for advice. Okay. And looking after items for the customers until they leave. Seizing items and refusing entry depends what kind of items they are, if there are any drugs or something like that. Seizing items, arresting customers, and calling the police depending upon the severity of the crime. Okay, you can't call police for something minor. If it's something minor, you just report your manager and make a note of it. If you think this is a crime, then you need to call police and inform them. Okay. But it all depends on the venue's policy. So as a door supervisor, I wouldn't decide anything. I would just focus on what my employer and my venue is giving me to their policy. Now, dealing with the property found during a search, again, any item seized must be uh, kept securely, right? If you found drugs, so you need to keep it in a drug amnesty box. They must be recorded, okay, and reported to the people, relevant people, depending upon the policy, who needs to be reported. Always follow procedures specified in the venue search policy. So it's quite easy for you. You do not need to decide anything. Just ask your manager or your venue, what's the policy of the venue? Where do I need to keep it? They need to inform you about that. Okay. Cool. Right. Now, you have to have additional considerations. So you should take care. Care should be taken when dealing with people with physical or learning difficulties and with children or young people. So you have to obviously now searches carried out on children and young people should be conducted in the presence of another individual, which will be a witness. Now, children and young people should not be asked to remove clothing other than outer garments like coats, gloves, and hats. Now, you should also be aware of other people's cultural and religious beliefs and values, which may be slightly different to your own. Yeah. Now, I'll summarize it. If door supervisors need to search a child or a young person, they should first obtain the consent of a responsible adult. The child or young adult must fully understand what is happening and why they are being searched. Searches should be conducted by a person of the same sex as child or as the young person. Okay, but that will also be in the venue's policy, so you need to read the policy. It's quite careful and it's quite important. You need to read it carefully and understand it. Okay. Now, if there are any incident or accidents, as a door supervisor, you must record all incidents or accidents. Okay. Now, what's the difference between an incident and accident? Incident is where you're not sure whether the harm has occurred or not, right? In an accident, the harm has occurred. Okay. You must complete an incident report form, and the incident or accident should be reported to the person in charge as soon as possible. Now, sometimes you also have to call emergency services if there is a need. Now, the venue's policy or assignment instructions must always be followed. It's quite easy for you as a door supervisor. You don't need to decide anything on you. You always need to follow the venue's policies and procedures. Okay? Thank you. Right, let's move on. Now, obviously, if you've done a full course, then you will be taught how to search a person. This is just a refresher, but obviously we will teach you briefly how to do a search. Okay, I will ask you in the class demonstrate. First, I will obviously demonstrate myself. Then I'll ask you to show me or demonstrate how you can search a person safely. Okay. Now, again, we will record as per our awarding organization's requirement as well. Thank you. Now, explain the three types of searches that can be carried out by a door supervisor. Again, general, random, and specific. We've dealt with this in the video, so you know what is it. Okay, general, almost everyone. Random, maybe every fourth person. Specific, maybe a specific car, maybe a specific person. That obviously you will follow your organization's policy. Again, identify three different types of search equipment. One is a search warrant. Then we have archway metal detectors, and then we have metal detectors. Okay. Now, explain the precautions a door supervisor should follow when carry out searches. What is it? Let's have a look. Ask for their permission. The first thing that they need to do is ask for their permission. Only search individuals of the same gender or same sex. Have a witness present. Ask whether they have anything that could injure either themselves or you. Or maybe if it's a venue's policy, you should only search someone under CCTV. Okay. Now, thank you very much for listening to me. Now, what you need to do, attempt your multiple choice questions. If you need to learn anything else, notes have been provided as well. You can watch this video again. And then obviously, we will not cover this content in the class. So it's mandatory to watch these videos and then come to the class. Thank you very much for listening to me. Okay.